So the first man on stage coming in at 170 kilos, and this is Bergmanis. And that looked extremely comfortable.
Yes, an easy opener there with 170 kilos, but I believe this man has a personal best of 197.5.
Indeed, and the other important fact is that, just to tell you, that Vadim Shmilov of the Ukraine in the B group lifted 170 kilos. He's a fraction lighter than the man you've just seen at 130.7, so he actually technically has the lead at the moment, but the bear is prowling. He's a great character. He was wonderful in Thailand. He really did enjoy the victory over Ronnie Weller. Ronnie Weller, who beat him in the snatch, took the gold, but Chemurkin came back in the clean and jerk. It was a terrific battle, and that's what we're relishing today. Believe me, these men, Chemurkin wouldn't be here unless he was ready to go to work.
That's right. I mean, Chemurkin's down to start at a modest 185 in the snatch and 240 in the jerk, compared to Weller, who's put 195 in and 250 for the clean and jerk. But of course, what you put in can be checked at any time. So there's Ronnie Weller warming up there in the snatch, 120 kilos.
But back on stage is Bergmanis, 6th in the world last December, when he actually went to 175 kilos. I managed 180 actually in Croatia at the Europeans a year ago. Wow, nice firm moment. He's just taken a couple of steps forward, but I think that's all right, David.
Yes, he'll need to pull a bit longer and a bit harder if he's going to lift any more. So he realises that.
175 takes the lead, overtakes the B group who lifted early. And Bergmanis, 31 years of age, quite tall as you can see, he's 1.90 m. T-ball stock. Well, there were absentees last year in the Europeans, most notably Weller and Chemurkin, but all credit to T-ball. He did take advantage of their absence. He lifted pretty respectively, totaled up 405 and lifted 185 in the snatch to take the title. In fact, I've done him an injustice. He actually lifted 187.5. In the World Championships, where Weller and Chemurkin were in December in Thailand, he finished in 4th place overall. New leader in the snatch.
Yes, that was a very dynamic lift. Bags of power, bags of speed. Good technician.
And he's really at his prime now. He's 26 years of age, so this is when you expect him to really come into his own. But again, he's another man, 132.8 kilos, compared with Ronnie Weller, 142.6, and Chemurkin, 173. So Bergmanis heavier than Stark, so even if he gets this, he's going to stay in 2nd place. What do you work for it? Do you think he's got it?
Yes, I think he deserves that. It's a really gutsy effort. Really worked hard in the first phase of the lift. Hung on to it when it was overhead. And And there's a confirmation with the 3 white lights.
Let me remind you, we're in the sports hall in Riesa, not a spare seat in the house, and they're standing outside. So the Latvian, so at the moment, the man who's in the lead on 185 kilos is still Skerbatis with his lightweight counting. And even if Sten Grimseth gets this, it isn't going to knock Skerbatis out of position, because Grimseth's a pretty hefty 148.5 kilos himself. That's the coach's view. Much better. Come on, Sten. Well, it's not as much as he wanted, but he's going to be mightily relieved. Ever popular man who's currently organising a super heavyweight competition in his own home, inviting all the top men in the world to his Norwegian fjord. Sten on the map, thank goodness. Tibor, 187.5. Well, this is what he took towards his European Championship last year. He didn't actually win the gold. He ended up in the silver medal position when he lifted this weight. So 185 he drops back to, and he's finished his lifting. And Skerbatis, who's in the back room, will be cheered up with this. He had 185 at his first attempt, and he's the light man. And there it is, David. Others are failing, and he's moving up the order.
But we still have Vardanyan, Weller, and Chemurkin.
Indeed, but he must feel that maybe he's got a chance of a bronze medal now, Skerbatis, and that will be great for the light man. But we'll know shortly. But first, Vardanyan.
Yes, in this bar now at 190 kilos.
Well, his PB is 195. Competed in the Olympics at the 108 kilo class. Just to remind you, the 108 and 108 plus have been replaced by 105 and plus 105, as Ronnie Weller starts to make his way. This long walk, followed by Frank Mantek, the head coach for Germany himself, a bronze medalist at the Moscow Olympics in 1980. At first, Skerbatis with plenty of time, over half a minute. And Victor, if he can put this in, will put himself in a very useful position, I think. His arms right at the extremity of the bar. This is a man who has prepared, and this is a man who is doing his job.
Yes, I mean, he's giving away a huge... He's giving away 51 kilos to Chemurkin. So, considering the light body weight, he really is doing well to stay up with these men.
Now, Vardanyan on stage for his second attempt at 190. But he wouldn't be the first, and he probably won't be the last in this competition who's going to be under pressure. But 2 failures, a third one, no total.
And the pull very, very fast. He just needs about another ½ an inch at the top, just so that you can fix it overhead. The weight doesn't look heavy.
So this is Danilin, the other of the Armenians. It's quite a useful junior. He was junior world silver medalist back in '94, which isn't that long ago.
Well, that's much better.
And that's a decent lift, 190 kilos. And Danilin not in the lead because Skerbatis has got that, and he's again much the lighter. Vardanyan now.
It's Vardanyan really under pressure now. 2 failures at this weight. He's got to get it right this time.
Just looking at his Olympic record in Atlanta, he only managed 4 out of 6 there. I think he's just saved himself. His percentage of success is not high, but once again, another man finding what was necessary at the last moment. So Skerbatis still leading the snatch table ahead of him. As you can see, 3 men on 190. Lift. Got ½ a minute. He's okay, he doesn't need to go crazy on this. He's still got 20 seconds. So this 192.5 to regain, or in fact enforce his advantage in the snatch at the moment. But still, of course, Weller and Chemurkin. So the third attempt a failure. But in terms of the snatch at the moment, with 190 secured, he's still got the advantage. And with that advantage, it means assured of the bronze medal. And that's what I felt, David, a few moments ago when we were talking about it. I felt that his good start might give him a dividend, and the dividend is guaranteed bronze.
But the real battle about to start. Weller and Chemurkin, the 2 men still left in this competition.
Weller coming in for his first lift now at 195. Remember, Chemurkin's put in what one would call a safety lift at 185. Only 28 years of age. 57 German records in his career, 4 world records for good measure as well. He really is a powerhouse. And if he lifted 205 in Portugal, which is 5 more than he lifted in Thailand when he won the snatch, but it was on body weight that it was decided, he has the possibility to go in 2 5-kilo increases to get there.
Yes, a really strong, powerful snatch, and of course success on that means that Chemurkin, because he being the heavier man, will have to take 197.5 for the lead.
Well, the board is saying 195. Well, I've seen this happen with Chemurkin before. He's not afraid to let it come down to the last lift. Let Weller see what he can do, and then he'll wait.
And of course, Chemurkin is known for his strength in the clean and jerk, so perhaps he decided to take this just to stay as close as possible to Weller.
Were you ever in doubt? He's a policeman when he's not lifting, but he's really on the job full time in terms of sport these days. He's got such a great record.
A really smooth technique for a big man.
Hello. Now this is the cat and mouse. Weller, second lift, 197.5. That means that Chemurkin would have to go to 200. But I wonder who's psyching who out here.
I've got a feeling Weller may go to 200. Giving Chemurkin the task of 202.5, and then still leaving Weller with an attempt left to go one more. Yep, and there we see, look, the board
197
being changed to 200, 2.5.
Chemurkin
Weller really putting the pressure on Chemurkin.
And this is the battle here with Mantek masterminding it for Ronnie Weller. There it is, the situation. Both men on 195 now. Ronnie with 2 lives, Chemurkin with 1. Chemurkin the heavier, Ronnie the lighter. And they're playing cat and mouse. Chemurkin, if he goes for 200, he invites Ronnie Weller, who's got 2 lifts, 2 attempts to go to 200, which would win him the snatch, 202.5 to give him a bit of an advantage going into the clean and jerk, which might be useful.
But if the board in the back room is anything to go by, Ronnie Weller isn't interested in 200. He's decided to take 202.5.
Well, if he did the 205, and we know that he did do 205 in training in Portugal, then surely he'll want those kilos going into the clean and jerk, because that's where he got destroyed in the Worlds in Thailand.
Deciding to wait and let Weller go for the 202.5 first.
So Ronnie Weller put in at 202.5.
And of course that would push Chemurkin
to 205. Which means that Ronnie would then have to...
which means he'd have to equal the world record to take the gold medal.
And he might as well put half a kilo on and go for it. And that world record is 205 kilos, which has stood since 1994 in Istanbul. And I'll explain to you in a moment why it is the world record under the new categories. But first, let's get this lift. "30 seconds. Ronnie Weller equal to the challenge. Frank Mantek applauding him. And the Sherwood crowd, there's the fan club. They were been rehearsing outside there, chanting and songs.
Just look at the power of this man. Really strong pull.
Olympic champion at 108 kilos in 1992.
The battle is on, and the bar's been raised to 205 kilos. We're now equal to the world record. This Chemurkin's final attempt will put him into the lead, but of course Weller still has an attempt remaining. So this is turning out to be the competition that we thought.
Well, Alexander Kurlovich is the man who holds the world record. They set new standards, world standards, at the beginning of the year, and for categories, that meant an adjustment. And only when somebody exceeds that will it become a world record. But in this case, for the super heavyweights, they've honoured all the existing records under the previous weight categories.
Of course, Chemurkin taking a big chance here, because if he fails with this lift, he'll have to do, at the moment, at least 10 kilos more in the jerk. So this is a crucial lift for him. If he doesn't do it, it's going to make life extremely difficult.
205 kilos.
Well, that means that Ronnie Weller has a gold medal, has a chance to now perhaps go for a world record with the pressure off, and Chemurkin needs to jerk 10 kilos more than Weller to win the competition. So
yes, just to put that in context, Chemurkin lifted 195, Weller's got 202 and a half, and as you rightly said, he's the lighter man, which in this situation is worth an extra 2.5 kilos. So
and of course he's still got one lift left, so he can the lead even further.
And he was clean and jerking 255 in Portugal, but remember,
this is a world record.
It will be. But remember, the other thing, just to talk about the clean and jerk, is that the world record there, 262 and a half. So in December, it was Chemurkin who was clearly the better in the clean and jerk. But let's just focus on this now. Ronnie Weller preparing for a world record attempt to beat the existing record set in the World Championships in Istanbul in 1994 by Alexander Kurlovich, now president of the Belarus Weightlifting Federation, who's in the hall here.
And of course this is going to give Chemurkin a real battle to catch up in the clean and jerk.
A huge moment. We haven't had a world record here at these championships. This could be the moment. "25 seconds. Oh yes, there it is. It's a world record. Ronnie Weller sets a new mark for himself and the world of weightlifting here in Riesa, in the world. He is now the top man in the snatch. A record that has stood for the best part of 4 years has come to the German on his own home platform. But this is only half of the story. What he wants is the overall title.
Just look at that, really high pull. Not perfect positioning, but manages to hold on. Look at that. He knows he's got it. It's a new world record, and of course an advantage of 12.5 kilos to carry on over into the clean and jerk.
A wonderful, wonderful achievement there, and it's really bubbling as we hoped it would, and their confirmation with a new world record. And look at the advantage. The extra half kilo won't count. He's got 10 kilos. That's worth, with his lightweight, 12.5. Skerbatis has taken the bronze by virtue of his lighter body weight, ahead of Vardanyan of Armenia, who's ahead of his own teammate as well. Stian Gribseth, the snatch specialist, unfortunately today in poor form. But we're going to take a break. When we come back, it's going to be the clean and jerk to decide who is the super heavyweight in Europe for 1998. Stay with us here on Eurosport.